The front door slammed with a violent force that echoed through the silent hallway like a gunshot. Daniel didn't just walk in, he invaded the space. He kicked his sneakers off, leaving them like discarded shells in the middle of the entryway, and stomped toward the kitchen with heavy, rhythmic thuds. His mother looked up from the table, her eyes weary. "Daniel, how was school?" she asked, her voice remaining steady despite the thick tension radiating from her son. "Fine," Daniel snapped, his jaw held so tight it looked ready to crack. The air between them was heavy with an unspoken conflict that had become their daily routine. "Go wash your hands for dinner," she replied calmly. "I know, stop asking me questions," Daniel shouted, his voice cracking with a strange, desperate edge. He grabbed his bag, dragging it across the floor like a heavy burden, and retreated into his room. Another slam. His mother stood alone, her hands trembling as she gripped her stained apron. She couldn't understand the duality. At school, his teachers saw a saint. They praised his impeccable manners, his patience, and his quiet focus during every lesson. To the world, he was the perfect student. But at home, he was a different person entirely, a storm that never ceased. That evening, after a heated argument over a missing assignment, she sat on the edge of her bed, weeping. "Why?" she whispered to her husband. "Why is he so polite to everyone else but so cruel to me?" The next morning, she stood in the classroom, her hands clasped tightly as if holding her heart together. "He is an absolute joy to have in class," the teacher said, a genuine smile lighting up her face. "He follows every rule. He manages his friendships with such grace. He keeps his emotions in check for 7 hours straight." The teacher noticed the mother's pained expression and leaned forward, her voice softening. "You see, by the time he walks through your front door, he is completely empty. He has used every ounce of his restraint. He isn't being disrespectful, he is being safe. You are the only person in the world who loves him enough to let him fall apart." The words hit her like a physical weight, shattering her frustration and replacing it with a sudden, sharp clarity. That afternoon, the front door flew open with the usual violent force. The heavy thud of Daniel's bag vibrating against the hardwood floor felt like a challenge. He braced his shoulders, his small face masked in a scowl, waiting for the lecture he was sure would come. He expected a reprimand for the noise, for the mess, for the attitude. Instead, his mother walked over quietly. She didn't yell. She squeaked a sigh. She knelt down on the floor and gently picked up the heavy bag. "You have had a very long day, haven't you?" she said, her voice a soft caress in the tense room. Daniel froze. The anger in his eyes flickered and died, replaced by a raw, startled vulnerability. He looked at her. Then his eyes darted to the floor as his lip began to tremble. "The boys laughed at me at lunch," he whispered, the words finally breaking through the dam. "They told me I was too slow." His mother didn't offer advice. She simply pulled him into a deep, tight hug. He leaned his entire weight against her, and she could feel the tension draining out of his small frame like water. The rudeness was gone, replaced by the simple needs of a tired child. She held him in the quiet of the entryway until the tears finally stopped, realizing in the silence that his anger was never about defiance. It was just a brittle shell protecting a deeply hurt heart. She didn't need to correct his behavior in that moment. She only needed to listen to his soul. From that day on, everything changed. She stopped looking at the outward behavior and started looking for the hidden burden. She learned that when he walked through that door, he didn't need another teacher or another critic. He needed a harbor. He needed a place where he could finally stop being strong and just be loved.